Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण everyone. So today is 25th of November. It is Saturday. Kartika Masa Damodara Masa Sukla Paksham, and today is Trayodasi. So there are no Vaishnava events today, but it is the third day of Bhishma Panchaka. Okay, so we shall quickly enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Savanakadi sages, they are speaking to Suta Goswami, and also to glorify Suta Goswami because he has been narrating Krishna Katha very beautifully. So, Suta Jiva Samah Saumya Shashvatihi Vishidam Yashaha Yastvam Shamshasi Krishnasya Machanam Amrutam Hinaha. O Suta Goswami, you are narrating this Krishna Katha very beautifully. You live longer and your glories will be spread across the world. And it is appearing like a nectar to us. And then they say, like our bodies have been, due to the smoke coming from the fire sacrifices, our bodies have turned into black color. But still, as we are hearing a Krishna Katha from you, we are feeling so much of happiness. Just like this is because it is the honey coming from, just like a honey that is at the lotus feet of Krishna. But we are hearing from through your mouth. Karmani asmin anaswase dhuma dhumra atmanam bhavan apayayati govinda pada padmasava madhu. Apayayati. So we are feeling very happy. Govinda pada padmasava madhu. Very beautiful it says. And then further, they are glorifying Suta Goswami, saying that about the association of the pure devotee. So this is very, very beautiful, and it is very important verse. So all the devotees, they remember this one by heart. So Saunakadi sages, they are saying, a moment of devotees association, it is not even compared to the heavenly comforts or liberation, and what to speak of anything else in this material world, which are only meant for the dying people. So likewise, they are glorifying the Suta Goswami's association because he is speaking only Krishna Katha very nicely, beautifully. So we are in the first canto, chapter 18, verse number 13. Tulayamalavenapi na swargam na apunadbhavam bhagavasangi sangasya matyanam kim utashishaham. Tulayama lavenapi. This is to be balanced with lavenapi by a moment. What is that? Na swargam na apunadbhavam. And what are they comparing with? Heavenly planet, the comforts of the heavenly planets. Na apunarbhavam, the liberation from the matter. And what is that? It is the Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. the association of the pure devotees of the Lord. Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. Machanam kim utashashaha. Machanam, those who are meant for death only. And then Machanam kim utashashaha, what to speak of worldly benedictions. So this is the beauty of it. A moment of devotees association, it is not even compared to the a heavenly comforts or liberation, and what to speak of anything else in the material world that are only meant for dying people. Tulayama levenapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavasangi sangasya machanam kimutashashaha. So beautifully saying. Translation for this verse is: the value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of a pure devotee to anything material. Men who are addicted to material happiness aspire to reach the heavenly planets like the moon, Venus, and Indraloka. And those who are advanced in material philosophical speculations aspire for liberation from all material bondage. When one becomes frustrated with all kinds of material advancement, one desires the opposite type of liberation, which is called apunarbhava or no rebirth. But the pure devotees of the Lord do not aspire after the happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom, nor do they aspire after liberation from material bondage. In other words, for the pure devotees of the Lord, the material pleasures obtainable in the heavenly planets are like phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria. So, and because they are already liberated from all material conceptions of pleasures and distress, they are factually liberated even in the material world. This means that the pure devotees of the Lord are engaged in a transcendental existence, namely in the loving service of the Lord, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. As a government servant is always the same either in the office or at the home or at any place. So a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for he is exclusively engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with anything material, what pleasure can he derive from material benedictions like kingship or other overlordships, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? Devotional service is eternal. It has no end because it is spiritual. Therefore, since the assets of a pure devotee are completely different from material assets, there is no comparison between the two. Suta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his association with the rishis in the Naimisharanya is unique. In the material world, association with gross materialists is veritably condemned. The materialist is called Yosit Sangi, or one who is much attached to material entanglement, women and other paraphernalia. Such attachment is conditioned because it drives away the benedictions of life and prosperity. And just the opposite is Bhagavata Sangi, or one who is always in the association with the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. Such association is always desirable, it is worshipable, it is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is very beautiful purport and the verse itself. And Prabhupada is giving so much of insights in this one. So there is always a comparison. So here also, Tulayama Lavenap, it is comparing the moments of devotees association. That is the topmost thing in this material world. And also, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Raya about what is the most auspicious activity, he in response he says, association of the devotee. That is the most auspicious thing. What is inauspicious is forgetfulness of Krishna. So here Saunakadi sages are saying that one. Tulayamala pina swargamna apunarbhavam bhagavasangi sangasya matyanam kimutashishaha. And also here one has to, Prabhupada says this association is the praiseworthy. This is Tayete Sadavaha Sadbhi Sarvasanga Vivarjitaha. The devotees of the Lord. So Kapil Bhagavan says, Tayete Sadavaha Sadbhi Sarvasanga Vivarjitaha. Sangahateshu Atate Pradyaha. One has to pray for it. Sangahateshu Atate Pradyaha. Sangadosha Harahite. When he gets the association of a pure devotee, then Sangha dosha, any faults within his life, it will be gradually harahite, it will be eradicated out. That is the one has to always aspire for the association of a pure devotee. Sometimes women also they desire good husband, devotee husband like that. So for example, Devhuti Mata also, when she hears Kardama Prajapati is leaving home, she laments and then she says, Yetavatalam kalena vitikrantena me prabho indriyardha prasangena parijakta paratmanaha indriyardhu prasangena. Oh my dear Lord, I have spent all the time indriyardhesu prasangena parijakta paratmanaha. I neglected the devotional service. And she further says, Indriyardhesu sajjancha prasangastvayime krutaha. Even though I have come here for the material sense enjoyment to you, even though I aspire to come to you, Indriyardhesu sajjancha prasangastvayime krutaha. I have been in your association for some time. She says, Tatapyastu, she says, Adhanancha, even though unknowingly one comes to in association with the pure devotee, Tatapyastu abhyayami, and that would give fearlessness to any conditioned soul, that would protect him. So that's why she says, Sangoyaha samsteri hetuhu asutsu vihito adhiya sayevo sadhusu kruto nisangatvaya kalpate. One has to always associate with the pure devotees of the Lord. Even though if you associate with material people perfectly and working, following all the dharma principles, but when it is not attracted to Krishna's devotional service, then it doesn't have any value. Neha yat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tiddapada sevaya jivannapi mruto hi saha. That is the one. Even though he is living, he is like a dead body without the devotees association. If he is not attracted to Krishna's lotus feet and devotees association. So, and also Saunakadi sages also glorify the same thing in the later verses in the second chapter also. They also says that if one doesn't wear a dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee on their top of head, he is just like a dead body. So that is, they also says further. So here Prabhupada is explaining very nicely here. Men who are addicted to the material happiness aspire to reach heavenly planets like the moon, Venus, and Indraloka. And those who are advanced in material philosophical speculation, they aspire maximum just detachment from the material world. Or some people, based on their consciousness, they wanted to go to the heavenly planet or the liberation or something like Apunarbhava or no rebirth. But the devotees, they do not aspire for such kind of kuto anyat kal viplutam. That is also Krishna says, Salokya saristi samipya sarupya ekatvam apyuta demanam na gruhnanti. Demanam na gruhanti vina matsevanam janaha. Even if I give liberation to them, demanam na gruhananti, they do not take it. Vina, except matsevanam janaha, they wanted to perform my devotional service. That is the beauty of the devotional service, that Krishna says that one. Matsevaya pritidamte salukyadi chatushtayam. And how glorious, what is the glories of the devotional service? Matsevaya pritidamte salukyadi chatushtayam. Even the four kinds of liberations. Nechanti sevaya purnaha kuto anyat kala viplutam. And devotees na ichayanti sevaya purnaha, unless they completely perform this devotional service, they don't take into these four kinds of liberations. And what to speak of kuto anyat kali viplutam, everything else is just they will be vanished in due course of time, inclusive of the impersonal liberation. Kuto anyat kali viplutam, they are very temporary. Everything else is temporary. So this is for a devotee, all these kinds of heavenly pleasures or whatever it is, without devotional service is a phantasmagoria, very beautifully saying. So this is it is unimaginable. So they are factually liberated even in a devotee, either in this material world or in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha planets. They are always Vasantyatra Purushaha Sarve Vaikunta Murtayaha Ye Animitta Nimittena Dharmena Aradayan Harim. Without the time and place and circumstances, Ye Animitta Nimittena Dharmena Aradayan Harim. They always in the worshipping of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the beauty of the devotee, either in this material world or in the Vaikuntha planet. This doesn't change. Both in the material world and spiritual world. Just like a government servant, whether he is in office or home, Prabhupada is giving very good analogy of it. And everything else is body in due course of time, that time will come. Either you are doing good or bad, everyone will die. Krishna says, Kaulos mean loka kshakrut pravruddho lokan samahattamiha pravruttaha कृतेऽपि त्वं न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे ये अवस्थिताः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः. Everyone will die. Everyone. Kalosmi, I am the time factor. Kalosmi lokakshaykrut pravruddho lokan samahattumiha pravruttah. Everything, whoever we are seeing now, in front of family, friends, relatives, everyone will die. Tutepi tvam, except you. Na bhavishanti sarve, no one will exist in this planet or in this world. Whomever we are seeing with our material eyes, in due course of time, everything will be vanished. Even though they are very expert in the material affairs, whatever it, either it is a prime minister or whatever it is, a president, whatever it is, everyone will be dying. Either he is a beautiful or a rich person, everything will be dying. So that's why, oh Arjuna, do your duty. What is that eternal duty? Not the material duty is temporary. That is also says, when we are doing material duty, Nishevitena Amitena Swadharmena Mahiyasa Kriyayogena Sestena Na Atihimishena Nityashaha. One has to engage his duty, but not to the attachment to that results of that activity. One has to always look for the eternity of it, connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that all these things come into with the just association of the pure devotees of the Lord. So and here the Suta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his association with the rishis in the Naimisharanya is unique. In the material world, association with the gross materialists is veritably condemned. That would only attach prasanga majaram pasham atmanah kavayo viduhu. Sayev Shalsu Kruto Mokshadwaram Apavritam. Everywhere this is stressed again and again. So this association with the women and other paraphernalia, it drives away one's benedictions of life and prosperity. So that's why one has to, from the childhood, Kaumaram Acharet Pradhno. That is Dharman Bhagavati Niha. When we have got this body, we have to execute that devotional service. Durlabham Mansham Jarma Tadapi Adhrivam Tadattadam. This body is Adhrivam Tada Api Adhrivam. It is temporary. And and then Prahlad Maharaj says that Addadam, one has to do meaningful activity with the body. This is Durlabha Manusham Janma. So it is, otherwise all these benedictions of life and prosperity will be driven away by the association of women and other paraphernalia if they are attached to it. Just the opposite is the Bhagavad Sangi. And it is the one, it is always desirable, it is worshipable, it is praiseworthy. But even the people know it, they don't come. It is not the time for me to now at this point of time. That is the due to the bewilderment. Okay, that is, it is very difficult. Mama Maya Durachaya, Daivi Esha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Durachaya, Maya Metam Tarendite. When we surrender to Krishna, then only Krishna will make sure that we cross this nescience very easily. So that is the association of a pure devotee. See, this is very beautiful verse Prabhupada used to explain. One verse, Prabhupada says that it may take 3 months for one verse. Okay, so that is such kind of this verse. So, Tulayama levenapi nasvargham na punarbhavam bhagavad sangi sangasya machanam kim utashashaha. Likewise, Savanakadi sages are glorifying the association of a Sutta Goswami. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly enter into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Brahmananda, November 7th, 1969, London. It is a small letter. Can I request any dear devotees so to read this letter?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Mary.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Thank you. My dear Brahmananda, please accept my blessings. I beg to thank you for your letter dated November 4, 1969, along with BTG number 29 and the new edition of the Peace Formula essay. They're both very nice. The BTG will be complete when the headings of the essays are bolder and each page, the name of Back to Godhead is printed. The title head on the front cover is quite suitable, and the picture is in the front page is exceedingly beautiful. I showed it to Gurudas and he remarked that it is super excellent and he expects it to sell very well because of this picture. I think similar pictures from Western centers should be printed. The New York Sankirtan party is also super excellent. I am very pleased to see all these pictures, and our magazines give information to people that we do not stick only to cities, but we train people in the remote villages also. So everything should be done very attentively and amicably. I am writing a letter to Hayagriva that he should take care of the composition of our books. Please find a copy of this letter enclosed. If you decide to go to Columbus, that is all right. Everything should be done very amicably. I see that in the peace formula pamphlet that there is advertisement of TLC and Bhagavad Gita, but there's no mention of Srimad Bhagavatam. I think that in the future this may also be advertised. What about Macmillan Company? Please offer my blessings to the others, and I hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Postscript. I have shown the new BTG to Mukunda, and he has very much appreciated the nice layout work of Chandanacharya. And closes, 1 carbon of letter to Hayagriba. Please let me know if all the books true conception of religion sent by Shamsundar Brahmachari are all sold, and if we owe some money still due to him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji?
Yeah, we see like in every letter Prabhupada shows different qualities, that exquisite qualities he had. In this, the importance to details, like in the magazine, he when the copy has been sent to him, he is pointing out how the details, like of the headers, should be there, the bold, and the name BTG should be printed on each page, and then only he passes them. Like, so, it's not that any job is done very cheaply. Like, it's whatever his disciples are doing, he's just agreeing to it. He's, I mean, only supervising it to the excellent quality, and also when it's very nice, like he praises it, and it's he shows it to all the devotees, and his happiness is like a child, like, everybody is super excited. That's so sweet. And like we know that a picture speaks 1,000 words, so when the picture of the front cover is nice, he knows that it'll sell very nicely. And always keeping the main motto of the Sankirtan, like movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that in every town and village. So he's not only spreading it in the towns, but making efforts to sell it in the villages, in the western remote villages as well. And people might not immediately start reading the literature, so in those cases the picture is very important, so he's making sure that pictures are of essential, very good quality. And that's my main takeaway, Prabhu. And I think, also he has this like uncanny quality of knowing what is the like special quality of each devotee, and how he can is each disciple, and how he can engage them. So from the very beginning he knew that like Hayagriva Prabhu, he was very keen on writing and literary work, so he had always engaged them in books. And we see that even after Prabhupada left his material body, the next two cantos, like Prabhupada completed till canto 10, but 11 and 12, like they were completed by Hayagriva Prabhu. So he, after Prabhupada left, like he spent, I think, 10-12 years to learn Sanskrit to Prabhupada's standard. Because when Prabhupada was there, he I think he used to do English literary work. But after Prabhupada left, he learned Sanskrit to that standard, and then he translated the books, and also he read each and everything that Prabhupada had written. I read somewhere, so that his purports are quality of Prabhupada standard, just not writing purports like whatever he felt. So he waited for that long so that he's able to deliver the books to that quality. So that's why I think many people don't realize that Canto 10, 11 and 12, they are done by Hayagriva Prabhu. So yeah, that's my takeaway, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing so much of knowledge about it. Any other points, dear devotees? Okay, so that is very beautiful part of the Srila Prabhupada's letter. And any magazines or any articles are being printed or advertised, so it should be containing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya Charitamrita, like that. So then people think, what is this literature? Let me see what it contains. So that's why Prabhupada is expecting this to be as part of the literatures or any magazines. Thank you so much, Mataji. That is my takeaway as well. Okay, so any other points, dear devotees, before we go into the next part of our program, going into the Gajendra Moksha, the pastimes, to read the English.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, one thing, one more thing came into my mind. Like, this line that Prabhupada has written, everything should be done very amicably. So, he knew that, like, of course, Prabhupada had that authority to say, what, like, to correct his devotees, but sometimes within them, they might not agree with each other and they might get into altercations. So, whether, like he was saying, whether you want to go to Columbus or whatever you want to do, everything should be done amicably. Like, there should be no um, contradictory things going on, like, kind of, if you're not happy and still carrying on doing that. So he kept on mentioning, so that calmness is maintained between devotees and they don't get into fights and all that within themselves. So he stressed on that point, that to this letter to Brahmananda. He was, I think, one of his first disciples to get initiated. He lived with him in the storefront, and Mm, he was very particular about this point, that um, there should be good relation between all the disciples, and there should be no fight. But we do know that after Prabhupada left his body for almost 10-15 years, there was so much of things going on in ISKCON, and then it took a while to take transformation and get back to the form we see it today. So yeah, he knew that this is going to come, and he kept on mentioning that as well. Yep, that's one other takeaway, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, this cooperation is needed. Okay, so if you're all happy, we shall move on to the next part of our program, the auspicious activity, Gajendra Moksha, the pastimes. And from the announcements side, so today evening, our regular events, I don't have any further updates of it. Yeah, that's all. So we shall move on to the next part of program. Okay, this is the Gajendras. So the elephant Gajendra's crisis. So who is this Gajendra? So in other way, everyone is one Gajendra. Everyone or Gaja is very big, and Indra is who is enjoying all the senses. That crisis. So the pastime. So this is kind of reflection to us, and also there is a history going on parallelly. The elephant Gajendra's crisis. Okay, so this is a beautiful purport. Now we have got 7 devotees here, and then there are 33 verses, and then chapter description. So we shall read. Can I request first devotee to read the chapter description?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Krishna. The Elephant Gajendra's Crisis. The second, third, and fourth chapters of this canto describe how the Lord, during the reign of fourth Manu, gave protection to the king of the elephants, as described in the second chapter. When the king of the elephants, along with his female elephants, was enjoying in the water, a crocodile suddenly attacked him, and the elephant surrendered to the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead for protection. In the midst of the ocean of milk, there is a very high and beautiful mountain that has an altitude of 10,000 yojanas or 80,000 miles. This mountain is known as Trikuta. In a variety of Trikuta, there is a nice garden named Rutumat, which was constructed by Varuna. And in that area, there is a very nice lake. Once the chief of the elephant, along with female elephants, went to enjoy bathing in that lake, and they disturbed the inhabitants of the water. Because of this, the chief crocodile in that water, who was very powerful, immediately attacked the elephant's leg. Thus, there ensued a great fight between the elephant and the crocodile. This fight continued for 1,000 years. Neither the elephant nor the crocodile died. But since they were in the water, the elephant gradually became weak, whereas the power of the crocodile increased more and more. Thus the crocodile became more and more encouraged. Then the elephant, being helpless and seeing that there was no other way for his protection, sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that is the finally elephant sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so next there are 33 verses. And I request every devotee, I read first 3 lines and then after that 30 verses. Each devotee takes 6 verses. Okay, so Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, there is a very large mountain called Trikota. It is 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles high, being surrounded by the ocean of milk. It is very beautifully situated. The length and breadth of the mountain are of the same measurement, 80,000 miles. Its 3 principal peaks, which are made of iron, silver, and gold, beautifully all directions and the sky. The mountain also has other peaks, which are full of jewels and minerals and are decorated with nice trees, creepers, and shrubs. The sounds of the waterfalls on the mountain create a pleasing vibration. In this way, the mountain stands, increasing the beauty of all directions." Okay, so can I request each devotee? So 5 verses for each devotee, please. Usha Mataji, please.
The ground at the foot of the mountain is always washed by waves of milk that produce umagals all around in the 8 directions, north, south, east, west, and the direction will move between them. The inhabitants of the higher planets, the Siddhas, Karnas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Sarpans, Kinnaras, and Apsaras, go to the mountain to sport. Thus all the caves of the mountain are full of these denizens of the heavenly planets. Because of the resounding vibrations of the denizens of heaven singing in the caves, the lions there, being very proud of their strength, roar with unbearable envy, thinking that another lion is roaring in the cave. The valleys beneath Calcutta Mountains are beautifully decorated by many varieties of jungle animals, and in the trees which are maintained in gardens by the demigods, varieties of birds chant with sweet voices. Remember that Calcutta Mountain has many lakes and rivers with beaches covered by small gems resembling grains of sand. The water is as clear as crystal, and when the demigods bathe in it, the Buddhist land bubbles to the water and the breezes thus enriching the atmosphere. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Can I request other devotee from? Okay, it seems it is combined together. So these 2 paragraphs, 9 to 19. Yes, Mataji, please.
In a valley of Trikita mountain, there was a garden called Ritumat. This garden belonged to the great devotee Varuna and was a sporting place for the dames of the demigods. Flowers and fruits grew there in all seasons. Along them were Madiras, Parijat, Patlas, Asokas, Campus, Citrus, Payalas, and Panasas, mangoes, Amritika, Karmukas, coconut tree, date tree, and pomegranates. There were Madhuka's palm tree, Tamila's asana, Arjuna's Atidas, and Udubara's Plakas, banyan trees, Kismukas, Kimusakas, and sandalwood tree. There were also a Pikmadras and Kovidras, Saras and Sarasuradharus grapes, sugarcane, banana, jambu, berries, akas, abayas, and amalakis. In the garden, there was a very large lake filled with the shining golden lotus flower known as the Kumunda, Kahlara, Uttapala, and Satapatra, which added excellent beauty to the mountain. There were also Bilva, Kapita, Jambira, and Bahlateka trees. Intoxicated bumblebees drank honey and humbled with the chirping of the bird whose songs were very melodious. Were very melodious. The lake was crowded with swans, karandavas, chakravakas, cranes, and the flocks of water. Chickens, Datyahas, Coccyus, and other murmuring birds. Because of the agitating movements of the fish and tortoises flower, the water was decorated with pollen that has fallen from the lotus flower. The lake was surrounded by kadamba flowers, Vetusus flowers, Nellis, Nipas, Vaigelucas, and Kundas, Kurubakas, Asokas, Sirisas, Kutajas, includes Kubachakes, Savana, Yuthis, Nagas, Punagas, Jatis, Malikas, Sattaparatras, Chalakas, and Madhvi letters. The banks were also abundantly adorned with a variety of trees that yielded flower and fruit in all seasons. Thus the entire mountain stood gloriously decorated.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. So this is the beauty of the mountain. So many flowers, so many fruits. Feeling like just to, I don't know the verses, but we will shall enter into that one on one day. Okay, can I request other devotee to read from 20 to 24? Radha Sevika Mataji, would you like to?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Would you like to read from text 20 to 24?
I can't see it. Oh, yeah. the leader of the elephants who lived in the pine forest of the mountain Trikuta once wandered towards the lake. His female elephant.
Hare Krishna Mataji, just wanted to suggest, like, if you put the phone in the landscape mode, you'll see the fonts become a bit bigger. So that
Yeah.
if that might help you.
I'm really lacking sleep. I don't even think I can look at a word today. Simply by catching scent of that elephant, all that other elephants and tigers and other ferocious animals. And white armbands fled in fear. The something deer also fled.
Mataji, we can't hear you. Your voice is breaking.
Sorry, is that better?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, in the mercy of this elephant, animals like the foxes, wolves, buffaloes, bears, boars, upachas, porcupines, monkeys, rabbits, and other deer, and many other small animals loitered everywhere in the forest. They were not afraid of him. Surrounded by the herds of the elephants, including females, and followed by the young ones, Gujapati, the leader of the elephants, made Trikuta mountain tremble all around because of the weight of his body. He was perspiring, liquor dipped from his mouth, and his vision was overwhelmed by intoxication. He was being served by bumblebees who drank honey, and from a distance he could smell the dust of the lotus flowers, which was carried from the lake by the breeze. This, surrounded by his associates who were afflicted by thirst, he soon arrived at the bank of the lake.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Sanchita Mataji? Would you like to go next?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. The king of the elephants entered the lake, bathed thoroughly, and was relieved of his fatigue. Then, with the aid of his trunk, he drank cold, clear, nectarian water, which was mixed with the dust of lotus flowers and water lilies, until he was fully satisfied. Text 26. Like a human being who lacks spiritual knowledge and is too attached to the members of his family, the elephant, being illusioned by the external energy of Krishna, had his wives and children bathe and drink the water. Indeed, he raised water from the lake with his trunk and spread it all over. He did not mind the hard labor involved in this endeavor. Text 27. By the arrangement of Providence, O king, a strong crocodile was angry at the elephant and attacked the elephant's leg in the water. The elephant was certainly strong, and he tried his best to get free from this danger sent by Providence. Text 28. Thereafter, seeing Gajendra in that grave condition, his wife felt very, very sorry and began to cry. The other elephants wanted to help Gajendra, but because of the crocodile's great strength, they could not rescue him by. Prabhu, can you just lift it up a bit? Yeah, sorry. They could not rescue him by grasping him from behind. Thank you.
One more.
Okay, thank you. Text 29. O king, the elephant and the crocodile fought in this way pulling one another in and out of water for 1,000 years. Upon seeing this fire, the demigods were very surprised. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Gaurangi Mataji? Would you like to go from 30 to...
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thereafter, because of being pulled into the water and fighting for many long years, the elephant became uh, diminished in his mental, physical, and sensual strength. strength. The crocodile, on the contrary, being an animal of the water, increased in Hashem, physical strength and sexual power. When the king of the elephant saw that he was under the um, mm, culture of the crocodile by the will of providence and being embodied and circumstantially helpless, could not save himself from danger. He was extremely afraid of being killed. He consequently thought for a long time and finally reached the following decision. The other elephants, who are my friends and relatives, could not rescue me from this danger. What then to speak of my wives? They cannot do anything. It is by the will of providence that I have been attacked by this crocodile, and therefore I shall seek shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always the shelter of everyone, even of great personalities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly not known to everyone, but He is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of internal time, uh, which is uh, fearful in forest, endlessly cha- chases everyone ready to swallow him. If one who fears this serpent seeks shelter of the Lord, the Lord gives him protection, for even death runs away in fear of the Lord. I therefore surrender into him, the great, the powerful, supreme authority, who is the actual shelter of everyone. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So beautifully read. So this is the summary of this chapter is, so there is so much of beautiful flowers, creepers and fruits and all these trees in this mountain, that is Rutumat. So, and that Trikuta, so that mountain name is called Trikuta. And there, within that garden, Rutumat garden, this elephant along with family and children, enjoying all this beauty of the nature. And suddenly it was caught by a crocodile. What is that crocodile? It is the time. So that is can be compared to the time. So everyone are going to fall into the prayer to the time. So that is very beautiful part of it. So it is kind of reflection. So Trikuta mountain, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So these are the reflections when we have to take it further. And when we are reading this thing, it is so much of pleasing. That is when we are in the childhood with parents. It looks like very happy, and when everything is coming on its way. But when we keep growing, the time what it does, it acts on our body, and in due course of time, it will give the pains. The body itself is going to give the pains, and with through so many relations. So here and finally, we go for the relatives and friends. Many people we approach, I have got this problem, please try to solve. But it is not possible for anyone to solve these problems. This is the either father or mother-in-laws or father-in-laws or brothers or sisters, they are helpless. So when we just enter into the bhava, the samsara, having accepting a partner, enter into the family, then we are tied up. Then everything starts. No one would come and rescue us. That is this material world. Okay, so that is the beauty of it. And finally, we understand that only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is only the shelter. No one else can protect us from the big ocean of nescience. Okay, so that is the summary of it. And the next then we shall see what Gajendra prayers, what Gajendra is doing now. Can I request other devotee? We got Hemlata Mataji as well. Nice to see Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
You are
Should
in Mataji?
Yeah, I can read.
Okay, yeah, sure, Mataji, please.
In the Gajendra prayers of surrender. In this chapter, the prayers by Gajendra, the king of elephants, are described. It appears that the king of elephant was formerly a human being known as Indradumna, and he learned a prayer to the Supreme Lord. Fortunately, he remembered that prayer and began to chant it to himself. First, he offered his respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because of his awkward position in having been attacked by the crocodile, he expressed his inability to recite prayers nicely. Nonetheless, he tried to chant the mantra and express himself in appropriate words as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes, the original person from whom everything has emanated. He is the root cause of this cosmic manifestation, and the entire cosmos rests in him. Yet he is transcendental, for he does everything in relation to the material world through his external energy. He is eternally situated in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha or Goloka Vindravana, where he engages his eternal pastimes. The material world is a product of his external energy or material nature, which works under his direction. It is thus that creation, maintenance, and annihilation takes place. The Lord exists at all times. This is extremely difficult for a non devotee to understand. Although the transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead is perceivable by everyone, only the pure devotee perceives his presence and activities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely free from material birth, death, old age, and disease. Indeed, if anyone in this material world takes shelter of him, he also becomes situated in that transcendental position. For the satisfaction of the devotee, the Lord appears and exhibits his activities. His appearance, disappearance, and other pastimes are not at all material. One who knows this secret can enter the kingdom of God. In the Lord, all opposing elements are adjusted. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart. He is the controller of everything. He is the witness of activities, and He is the original source of all living entities. Indeed, all living entities are parts of him, for he is the origin of Mahavishnu, which is the source of living entities within this material world. The Lord can observe the original source. Although he is the original source of everything, he is untouched by any of his byproducts. In this way, he is like a gold mine, which is the source of gold in ornaments and yet is different from the ornaments themselves. The Lord is worshipped by the method prescribed in the Panchatatras. He is the source of our knowledge and he can give us liberation. Therefore, it is our duty to understand him according to the instructions of devotees, in particular the spiritual master. Although for us the mode of goodness is covered by following the instructions of saintly persons and spiritual masters, we can be freed from material clutches. The self effulgent material form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is adored by non devotees. His impersonal form is adored by those advanced in spiritual knowledge, and his feature as the localized supersoul is appreciated by yogis. But his original form as a person is understood only by devotees. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is competent to dissipate the darkness of the conditioned soul through his instructions in Bhagavad Gita. He is the ocean of transcendental qualities and can be understood only by liberated persons freed from the bodily concept of life. By his causeless mercy, the Lord can rescue the conditioned soul from the material clutches and enable him to return home, back to Godhead, to become his personal associate. Nonetheless, a pure devotee does not aspire to go back to Godhead. He is simply satisfied with executing his service in this material world. A pure devotee does not ask anything from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His only prayer is to be freed from the material conception of life and to be engaged in the Lord's transcendental loving service. In this way, the king of elephant Gajendra offered prayer directly to Supreme Personality of Godhead without mistaking him for one of the demigods. None of the demigods came to see him, not even Brahma or Shiva. Rather, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, seated on Garuda, personally appeared before him. Gajendra, by lifting his trunk, offered obeisances to the Lord, and the Lord immediately pulled him from the water along with the crocodile who had captured his leg. Then the Lord killed the crocodile and thus rescued Gajendra. Hare Krishna. Do you want me to continue, Prabhu?
I will give another.
Yes, yeah. Sure. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So beautifully read, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yeah, in this summary, so it is so good. Here, by lifting his trunk, offered obeisances to the Lord, and then Lord immediately pulled him from the water along with the crocodile. So, who had captured the leg? Okay, so we'll see what are the prayers, and after that, can I request Saranya Mataji? Would you like to go for next
Hare Krishna.
verses?
Yes. 1 to how many verses?
Until 5 verses, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. Thereafter, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, fixed his mouth in his heart with perfect intelligence and chanted a mantra which he had learnt in his previous birth as Indradyumna and which he remembered by the grace of Krishna. The king of the elephants, Gajendra, said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person, Vasudeva, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Because of him, this material body acts due to presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for exalted person as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. The Supreme Godhead is the supreme platform on which everything rests, the ingredient by which everything has been produced, and the person who has created and is the only cause of this cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, he is different from the cause and the result. I surrender unto him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is self-sufficient in everything. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding his own energy, keeps this cosmic manifestation visible and again sometimes renders it invisible. He is both the supreme cause and the supreme result, the observer and the witness in all circumstances. Thus, he is transcendental to everything. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. In due course of time, when all the causative and effective manifestation of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of his lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so these are the prayers. So when the devotees are reading these prayers, so indirectly you are offering your obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'll share this one equally. So I request next 4 verses. Meena Mataji, would you like to go for?
Hare Krishna. An artist or stage being covered by the attractive dresses and dancing with different movement is not understood by his audience. Similarly, the activities and features of the supreme artist cannot be understood even by the demigod or great sages, and certainly not by those who are unintelligent like animals. Neither the demigod and sages nor the unintelligent can understand the features of the Lord, nor can they express in word his actual position. May that supreme personality of Godhead give me protection. Reunions and Reunions and great sages who sees all living beings equally, who are friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice in the forest the vows of brahmacharya, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. Sannyasa desire to see the all auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that same Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activity, name, form, qualities, or faults to fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed. He comes in the form of a human being like Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. By his original internal potency, he has immense potency and in all various forms, all free from material contamination. He acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respect to him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So you beautifully for your prayers. Can I request Usha Mataji from 10 to 13?
I offer my respect to the sources and to the supreme personality of Godhead, the self-effulgent super soul, who is the witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul and who cannot be reached by exercise of the mind, words, or consciousness. The supreme personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotee who works in the transcendental exercise of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. I offer my respect to the preceptor to Lord Vasudeva, who is all pervading to the Lord's fears from form as Lord Nrsimhadeva, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varadeva, to Lord Dattatreya, who reached impersonalism to Lord Buddha and to all the other incarnations. I offer my respect and obeisances unto the Lord who has no material qualities but who accepts the three qualities goodness, passion, and ignorance within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the super soul, the superintendent of everything and the witness of all the occurs. You are the supreme person, the origin of material nature and of the total material energy. You are also the owner of the material body. Therefore, you are the supreme complete. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So very beautiful part of it. Can I request Radha Sevika Mataji from 14 to 17?
My Lord, you are the observer of all the objectives of the senses. Without your mercy, there is no possibility of solving the problems of doubts. The material world is just like a shadow, resembling you. Indeed, one accepts this material world as real because it gives a glimpse of your essence. My Lord, you are the cause of all causes, but you yourself have no cause. Therefore, you are the wonderful cause of everything. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the shelter of this, the Vedic knowledge contained contained in the Shastras, like the Prachetas and Vedanta Sutras, which are your representations and who are the source of the Parampara system, because it is you who can give liberation. You are the only shelter for all transcendentalists. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, as the fire is Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the regulative principles directed in the Vedic literatures, because such advanced souls are transcendental. You personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Since an animal such as since an animal such as me has surrendered unto you, who are supremely liberated, certainly you will release me from the dangerous position. Indeed, being extremely merciful, you instantly try to deliver me by your spiritual features as Paramatma. You are situated in the hearts of all embodied beings. You are celebrated as direct transcendental knowledge, and you are unlimited. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So beautifully offered these prayers. Thank you. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to go for 21?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. My Lord, those who are completely free from material contamination always meditate upon you within the core of their hearts. You are extremely difficult to attain for those, like me, who are too attached to mental concoction, home, relatives, friends, money, servants, and assistants. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, uncontaminated by the modes of nature. You are the reservoir of all enlightenment and the Supreme Controller. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 19. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation obtain from Him what they desire. What then is to be said of the other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benedictions of liberations from this present danger and from the materialistic way of life. Text 21, 22. Unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord worship Him in full surrender and always hear and chant about His activities, which are the most wonderful and auspicious. Thus, they always they always merge in an ocean of transcendental bliss. Such devotees never ask the Lord for any benediction. I, however, am in danger. Thus, I pray to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally existing, who is invisible, who is the Lord of all great personalities such as Brahma, and who is available only by transcendental bhakti yoga. Being extremely subtle, he is beyond the reach of my senses and the transcendental to all external realization. He is unlimited, he is the original cause, and he is completely full in everything. I offer my respectful obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Gaurangi Mataji? Would you like to go for 22 to 25?
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates his minor parts and parcels. The Jiva Tattva, beginning with Lord Brahma, the demigods, and the expansion of Vedic knowledge. Sama, Adi, Yajur, and Atharved, and including all other living entities, moving and non-moving, with their different names and uh, characters, as the sparks of a fire, or the shining rays of the sun emanate from their source and merge into it again and again. The mind, the intelligence, the sense, the gross and subtle uh, material bodies, and the continued um, transformation of the different moods of nature, all um, emanate from the Lord and again merge into him. He is neither demigod nor demon, neither human nor bird or beast. He is not woman, man or neuter, nor is he an animal. He is not a material quality. For fruitivity activity, manufacturation, or non-manufactions. He is the last word in the discrimination of not this, and he is unlimited. All glory to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I do not wish to live anymore after I am released of the attack of the crocodile. What is the use of an elephant's body covered externally and internally by ignorance? I simply desire internal eternal liberation from the covering of ignorance. That covering is not destroyed by the influence of time. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I did many mistakes. Forgive to me, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Beautifully prayed, Mataji. So this is very nice. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Can I request Hemlata Mataji next to offer next 3 more prayers?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry, I couldn't open my this. Um, so text 26 you said, no?
Yes, ma'am. 26 to 28.
Okay. Now, fully desiring release from material life, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person who is the creator of the universe, who is himself the form of the universe, and who is nonetheless transcendental to this cosmic manifestation. He is the supreme knower of everything in this world, the super soul of the universe. He is the unborn, supremely situated Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme, the Super Soul, the Master of all mystic yoga, who is seen in the core of the heart by perfect mystics when they are completely purified and freed from the reactions of fruitive activity by practicing Bhakti Yoga. My Lord, you are the controller of formidable strength in three kinds of energy. You appear as the reservoir of all sense pleasures and the protector of the surrendered souls. You possess unlimited energy, but you are unapproachable by those who are unable to control their senses. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So there are 4. Okay. 5 more verses. Next, can I request Serenia Mataji? Can you go for 2 more verses?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you asked me?
Yes, Mataji, 2 more.
Okay. Text 3. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. When the king of the elephants was described.
Mataji, 20 more.
Okay, sorry. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose illusory energy the Jiva, who is part and parcel of the God, forget his real identity because of the bodily concept of life. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose glories are difficult to understand. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, when the king of the elephants was describing the supreme authority, without mentioning any particular person, he did not invoke the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. Thus, none of them approached him. However, because Lord Hari is the super soul, Purushottama, the personality of Godhead, he appeared before Gajendra. After understanding the awkward condition of Gajendra, who had offered his prayers, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who lived everywhere, appeared with the demigods who were offering prayers to him. Carrying his disc and other weapons, he appeared there on the back of his carrier Garuda with great speed according to his desire. Thus he appeared before Gajendra. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I shall read the last 2 lines. So Gajendra had been forcefully captured by the crocodile in the water and was feeling acute pain. But when he saw that Narayana wielding his disc was coming in the sky on the back of Garuda, he immediately took a lotus flower in his tongue and with great difficulty due to his painful condition, he uttered the following words: O my Lord Narayana, Master of the universe, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. And thereafter, seeing Gajendra in such an aggrieved position, the unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, immediately got down from the back of Garuda by his causeless mercy and pulled the king of the elephants along with the crocodile out of the water. Then, in the presence of all the demigods who were looking on, the Lord severed the crocodile's mouth from its body with his disc. In this way, he saved Gajendra, the king of the elephants. So beautiful summary of Gajendra. Even though he is in so much of painful condition, he is offering such exalted prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Out of the 33 verses, all these verses are prayers. We are seeing so many of repetitions in the English, but when we see this and the Sanskrit prayers, then they might be very fruitful and relishing to a devotee when he is offering his prayers to the Supreme Lord. Okay, so we shall see this. It is kind of a the summary of what happens to the living entity when we read these things or hear these things, and why it has the pastimes. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to read the summary of this chapter?
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Gajendra returns, chapter 4. Gajendra returns to the spiritual world. This fourth chapter describes the previous birth of Gajendra and the crocodile. He tells how the crocodile became a Gandharva and how Gajendra became an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There was a king on the Gandharva planet whose name was Huhu. Once this king Huhu was enjoying with women in the water, and while enjoying, he pulled the leg of Devala Rishi, who was also taking bath in the water. Upon this, the sage became very angry and immediately cursed him to become a crocodile. King Huhu was very sorry when cursed in that way. He begged pardon from the sage, who in compassion gave him the benediction that he would be freed when Gajendra was delivered by the personality of Godhead. Thus the crocodile was delivered when killed by Narayana. When Gajendra, by mercy of the Lord, became one of the Lord's associate in Vaikuntha, he got 4 hands. His achievement is called Sarupya Mukti, or the liberation of receiving a spiritual body, exactly like that of Narayan. Gajendra, in his previous birth, had been a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. His name was Indradumna, and he was the king of the Tamila country. Following the Vedic principles, this king retired from family life and constructed a small cottage in the Malayachala hills, where he always worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in silence. Agastya Rishi, along with many disciples, once approached King Indradumna's ashram, but because the king was meditating on Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not receive Agastya Rishi properly. Thus the Rishi became very angry and cursed the king to become a dull elephant. In accordance to this curse, the king was born as an elephant and forgot all his previous activities in devotional service. Nonetheless, in his birth as elephant, when he was dangerously attacked by the crocodile, remembered his past life in devotional service and remembered a prayer he had learnt in that life. Because of this prayer, he again received the mercy of the Lord. Thus, he was immediately delivered and he became one of Lord's 400 associates. Sukdev Goswami ends this chapter by describing the good fortune of the elephant. Sukdev Goswami says that by hearing the narration of Gajendra's deliverance, one can also get the opportunity to be delivered. Sukdev Goswami vividly describes this, and thus the chapter ends. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Meena Mataji to read first 4 verses?
Hare Krishna. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, when the Lord delivered Gajendra kings of the elephant, all the demigods, sages, and Gandharvas, headed by Brahma and Shiva, praised this activity of Supreme Personality of Godhead and showered flower upon both the Lord and Gajendra. There was a beating of cattle drums in the heavenly planets. The inhabitants of Gandharvaloka began to dance and sing, while great sages and the inhabitant of Chandraloka and Siddhaloka offered prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Purushottama. The best of the Gandharvas kings who, having been cursed by Devala Muni, had become a crocodile, now having been delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he assumed a very beautiful form as a Gandharva, understanding by whose mercy had happened. This has happened. He immediately offered his respectful obeisance with his head and began chanting prayer just suitable for the transcendental Lord, the Supreme Eternal, who is worshipped by the choicest, choicest verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Can I request Usha Mataji for the next 4 verses?
Okay. Having been favored by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and having regained his original form, King who circumvented the Lord and offered his obeisance. Then, in the presence of all the demigods headed by Brahma, he returned to Gandharvaloka. He had been freed of all sinful reactions. Because Gajendra, king of the elephant, had been touched directly by the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was immediately freed of all material ignorance and bondage. Thus he received the salvation of Surya Sarupya Mukti, in which he achieved the same bodily features as the Lord, being dressed in yellow garments and possessing 4 hands. This Gajendra had formerly been a Vaishnava and the king of the country known as Pandya, which is in the province of Dravida, South India. In his previous life, he was known as Indradimna Maharaj. Indradimna Maharaj retired from family life and went to the Malaya hills, where he had a small cottage for his ashrama. He wore matted locks on his head and always engaged in austerities. Once, while observing a vow of silence, he was fully engaged in the worship of the Lord and absorbed in the ecstasy of love of Godhead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Radha Sevika Mataji from 9 to 12?
While Indrayumna Maharaj was engaged in ecstatic meditation, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the great sage Agastya Muni arrived, surrounded by his disciples. When the Muni saw that Maharaja Indrayumna, who was sitting in a secluded place, remained silent and did not follow the etiquette of offering him a reception, he got very angry. Agastya Muni then spoke this curse against the king. The king Indrayumna is not at all gentle. Being low and uneducated, he has insulted a Brahmana. May he therefore enter the region of darkness and receive the dull, dumb body of an elephant. Sukadev Goswami continued, my dear king, after Agastya Muni had thus cursed King Indrayumna, the Muni left that place along with his disciples. Since the king was a devotee, he accepted Agastya Muni's curse. as welcome because it was the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although in his next life he got the body of an elephant, because of devotional service, he remembered how to worship and offer prayers to the Lord.
Thank you, Mataji. So beautiful. Even this devotee, it is welcoming that one curse. Muni's curse was a welcome. That is the devotee always see it is in the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or desire of the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. So can I request Gaurangli Mataji, next 3 verses, 13 to 15.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay. Upon delivering the king of the elephant from the clutches of the crocodile and from material extents which resembles a crocodile, the Lord awarded him the statue of Sarupya Sorupya Mukti. In the presence of the Gandharvas and Siddhas and the other demigods who were praising the Lord for his wonderful transcendental activities. The Lord, sitting on the back of his career, Garuda returned to his all wonderful abode and took Gajendra with him. My dear King Pariksit, I have now described the wonderful power of Krishna as displays when the Lord delivered the king of the elephants. O base of the Kuru dynasty, who hear this narration become fit to be promoted to the higher planetary system simply because of hearing this narration. They gain a reputation as devotees. They are um, uh, unaffected by the contamination of Kali Yuga and they never see bad dreams. Therefore, after getting up from bed in the morning, those who desire their own welfare, especially the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and in particular the Brahmana Vaishnavas should chant his narration as it is without division to uh, control counterate the troubles of bad dreams. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
16. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Hemlata Mataji to go for 16 to 24?
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, freed from all sinful reactions are those who rise from bed at the end of night, early in the morning, and fully concentrate their minds with great attention upon my form, your form. This lake, this mountain, the caves, the gardens, the cane plants, the bamboo plants, the celestial trees, the residential quarters of me, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, the three peaks of Trikuta mountain made of gold, silver, and iron, my very pleasing abode, the ocean of milk, the white island, Swetadeep, which is always brilliant with spiritual rays, my mark of Srivatsa, the Kaustubha gem, my Vajanti garland, my club, Kaumudiki, my Sudarshan disc, and Panjanya conch-shell, my bearer Garuda, the king of the birds, my bed Sheshnag, my expansion of energy, the goddess of fortune, Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, Prahlad, my incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha, my unlimited all auspicious activities, which yield piety to he who hears them, the sun, the moon, fire, the mantra, Omkara, the absolute truth, the total and material energy, the cows and Brahmanas, devotional service, the wives of Soma and Kashyap, who are all daughters of King Daksh, the rivers Ganga, Saraswati, Nanda, and Yamuna, Kalindi, the elephant, Eravat, Dhruva Maharaj, the seven rishis, and the pious human beings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So
Thank you.
Sadhu Goswami and Sukadeva Goswami says, "O best of the Kuru dynasty, the supreme personality of Godhead is the super soul of everyone. Being thus pleased, does Gajendra, like Hemlata Mataji has read." So very beautiful thing. So this will freed from as soon as one hear, as soon as raised from the bed, he will be freed from all sinful reactions. Okay, so can I request Sanchita Mataji to read the last two lines?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Text 25. My dear devotee, unto those who rise from bed at the end of night and offer me the prayers offered by you, I give an eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of their lives. And text 26. Sri Sukdev Goswami continued, after giving this instruction, the Lord, who is known as Rishikesha, buckled with his Panchajanya conch shell, and in this way pleasing all the demigods headed by Brahma. Then he mounted the back of his carrier Garuda. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So beautiful pastime of Gajendra in front of Gajendra. So we see the Lord is speaking to all the demigods. Demigods are there, Gajendra is there, and he has taken there are beautiful pictures of it. So Lord is running to take Gajendra out of the water along with the elephant. So that we have read it. And here, when we see here, the Lord is present on Garuda, and all the demigods are present, and the elephant is lifting the lotus feet and offering prayers. And then Lord is taking, so I think where is our picture? So this is one picture, and here, so this picture is so this picture where Lord has taken, and here we see Indradyumna in his four-handed form, and all the demigods are in the sky, and this elephant body is going to come out, and here who is the Gandharva came out of the crocodile's body, and Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods are also standing there in the next, as we have read. And Lord is speaking to who as well, and also Indradyumna, and he has got his four-handed form later on. He also goes with the Lord. And so, yeah, those are very beautiful pastimes. And as soon as we hear all these things, and so just Sukadeva Goswami also says Palashruti, who hears all these things, narrations, they would be counteracting all the bad dreams, counteract the troubles of the bad dreams, and he would never ever see bad dreams at all. So that is the beauty of it. This is Palashruti. So we can see how much important this 8th canto, chapter 3, all the offering of prayers to the Lord. And the Lord also says all these symbols and the Lord's opulence. And also it is good to have conch shell, as well as Lord is blowing the conch shell, Buggle with his Panchajanya conch shell, to pleasing all the demigods. Wherever this sound is going on, conch shell sound, all the bad things, bad elements go away from the surroundings until that sound goes. That is all auspicious to have conch shell in the home and blow it at least 3 times in the morning and evening. Yeah, and all these things, all auspicious things. So I stop here, and I request dear devotees, any reflections here and any comments or any.
Like it's everything here, like Lord has given for first liberation to what you call crocodile, like Gandharva. He was even the he has because he has hold elephant leg. That's why, isn't it? Because he's a pure devotee leg. And that's why he got liberation. Like he become Gandharva first, then Gajendra.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, who even though he was killed by the Lord, but he has not performed a devotional service. So, but still, he has attained Gandharva form back, and then he offered his offerings, his prayers to the Lord.
Because he has touched his Gajendra's leg, like pure devotee leg. That's what I heard. So
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Gajendra did his
even
devotional service. Yeah.
the,
So beauty of it. Anything related to Krishna, so that is so relishing. Okay, any other comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I like one text in which um, uh, what was it? Gajendra, he expressed his wish not to live even after freed from the clutches of the crocodile. He wanted to get rid of this material ignorance and all. He was so I like that one.
So yes, Mataji. So this is where is that verse?
He did not wanted to live after freed from him. He
Yeah.
wanted liberation from the ignorance. Yeah.
I do not wish to live anymore after I am released from the attack of the crocodile. I don't. So this means I do not want to come under the influence of the time factor, which is controlling this material universe. So he wanted to be eternally serving in association with the Supreme Lord. So beautiful place. Whatever we touch it is everything like that transcendental.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, I liked one of the texts on, I think, chapter 2, text 32, where Gajendra, this fight was continuing for 1,000 years, so between the crocodile and Gajendra. But he did not remember initially, but slowly as his suffering and pain increased, like us, like how bewildered we are, like when we are happy, we don't remember Krishna. Like on Thursday we were discussing in the Krishna book reading that Sham Prabhu mentioned that when India kept on winning the matches, nobody like thinks what happens, but when they lose, like they think about the providence that I don't know why this happened. So similarly, like Gajendra, the fight continued for so long, and he did not have that previous like past life memories coming back. But in this, he says like, uh, I have been attacked, and he's seeking because his friends and relatives he cannot rescue. So I know that it is done by the will of the providence that I have been attacked by this crocodile. So everything was arranged by the Supreme Personality. He realized only when like his sufferings increased. So that was my realization from Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, one has to get disgusting about this material world. it is place of miseries. Okay, any other comments?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, I like the point like even though Gajendra was born as a elephant, he was living forgetful of the previous life and all. But when the time is in favor, Krishna provided the remembrance. Krishna remembered Gajendra the needed prayers. So it is like it's very happy, like he did something in the previous life, but in next life also when time comes, Krishna provided that remembrance. Krishna says he provide the remembrance whenever that need. So even though we do some devotional service, when we die, Krishna assures I will give them that remembrance, even though he is not able to remember me at the time of death. If he did something, I will provide him the remembrance. Like that in here also, Gajendra, Krishna provided the remembrance so that Gajendra remembered that prayer and he could offer that, so that Krishna could deliver him from the condition. So that is a wonderful point. I like Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, aham smarami mad bhaktaha. Even if devotee can't remember it, the Lord will come and he utters those words on behalf of a devotee. He make him to utter those words of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, so merciful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any other points?
And in previous life, even though it's not his fault, like because he was meditating and still has accepted curse as a pure devotee, like otherwise he has like not get the curse. If he had not accepted, he can do something, but he has just accepted and become a Gajendra.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, it is a beauty of the devotee. He na binandati nadvesti. He doesn't desire anything. He doesn't hate anything. And he sees everything as a desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Same like Pariksit Maharaj, he has also taken upon that curse.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So beautiful.
And like if somebody in like dangerous or any problem, so this is good to like say this one verse is saying Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yat Chidatmakam Purusadi Vijaya Parisayati Mahi. That is a good slok to chant or to not chant but to do.
So what is that mantra, Mataji?
It's like Gajendra is, I think in that book is saying Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yat Chidatmakam Purusaya Dibijaya Parisaya Dhimahi.
So which verse, Mataji, that one?
Oh, I haven't got the book, but I have just noted from one.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know the exact name or the number of that. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. All these mantras and these shlokas, they are as per the grammar, they have properly compiled, and they have got, for example, out of such kind of mantras, Gayatri mantra is the one. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. So that one, it is one of the beautiful Prabhupada mentions that properly composed, very high level. Okay, so that is okay. We need to see that of course, everything is in the Sanskrit, mostly coming from the scriptures, authorized scriptures, that is bona fide. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I have a doubt, Prabhu. So in this prayers, it was mentioned like Gajendra was praying like he was not aware who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he prayed, and so Brahma and Shiva could not come, and Narayana came. But in the second chapter, when we read, there was some words saying like the Vasudeva, the Narasimha Dev, like that. Gajendra was saying something, right? So is it
So
like
yes, Mataji. So here, Prabhupada is giving those forms, and Gajendra, when he was offering his prayers, Prabhupada is giving. So this is one under Simhadev, Lord Varaha. So here in this verse, Namah Shantaya Ghoraya Muhraya Gunadharmine Nirvishesaya Samyaya Namodhyana Ghanaya. So here the names are not directly given. So when we say Ghoraya, it is the peaceful form, and it is a like a like what is that? Jamadagnya, and this is son of Jamadagni, that is Parashurama and Nrsimhadeva. So at that time, it was the qualities of the Lord, how he has performed his activities. And then Modhaya, the form Lord as an animal, such as a boar. So, and Prabhupada has given those understanding for your devotees very clearly what it means.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, understood. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Any other comments? Mataji, Radha Sevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I think, like, for me, it was about the pain of being in the material world, and that people are just so suffering from these things, and that we're all in this situation. And we really, really have to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everybody, like, everywhere we look, people are suffering for something, one thing or the other. And it's only by the Lord's mercy that we can be free from all these things. People are just suffering. They're continuously suffering. They don't know what they're fighting. They don't know what what the issues are. Some are fighting in a blind way. Some are fighting in, having a little bit of knowledge. But nevertheless, we're all fighting these situations to some degree. And we really, whether it's in a pleasurable situation or in a painful situation, both really, without the Lord, is causing suffering. So it's only when the Lord comes, it's only when that veil is gone, then we can really experience our relationship with him. And that Krishna is so kind that despite all these things, he's still there and he's willing to rescue us as well. And it's that whole the whole concept of Krishna being our rescuer, because like Draupadi, the same thing. Gajendra, he gave, until he got that understanding to surrender fully, and there's, the where he offers the flower. That even in that painful situation, in that, he still found some service. He still gave some service to the Lord. And in the same way, like whichever situation we find ourselves in, we must, like, whether it's a painful situation, whether it's a pleasurable situation, whether it's we remember Krishna, whether we don't remember Krishna, whatever it is, Krishna is still the one that is more favorable for us to go back to him, even if the living soul doesn't. So it's to a certain degree, it's Krishna that helps us through everything. Well, not everything really. And then especially through the things that we just don't know what we've done. We don't know why we're here. We don't know. To a certain degree, even if someone's very enlightened, they don't know everything like Krishna does. So Krishna is the only person, because he's the all-knowing. He's the only person that really can rescue us from ourselves and our situation because of his mercy.
Thank you, Mataji. So yeah, that is Krishna's mercy. So when we are in the devotees association, like-minded devotees, everything will come into the picture. So thank you so much, Mataji. Anything else? Usha Mataji or Gauringi Mataji wanted to share as well?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. On duty side, when we have a difficult time, or anything, then remember the Krishna at the end of the time. Otherwise, we enjoying the life, and then yes, if everything is going well, so that we forget the Krishna. But the truth is, is to remember Krishna all the time. Thank you, Prabhu, and then you are just giving your time. So nice. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So remembering Krishna is so beautiful. Among the devotees association, these reflections will go stronger and deeper. Gauringi Mataji, we would like to hear you, Mataji. So you are a very senior devotee and so much of austerity experiences. We would like to hear even a few words are very meaning. It means to us. If you are available. Gauringi Mataji, are you available? Okay, so if Mataji is not available, so that is very beauty of this Gajendra prayers. Yeah, when I don't know when we come to that 8th canto to recite and relish these verses and offer our prayers through Sanskrit, that will never ever be forgotten later on. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam, and I shall stop here. And before we conclude and continue with further japa, and dear devotees, if you have got any to share anything else, kindly share. Otherwise, we'll conclude it.
Thank you, Prabhu, for doing this prayers for us, explaining and giving us all opportunity to read them. English, of course, first. I mean, we understand, and then, as you said, relish when the time comes in Sanskrit, and especially in this month of Kartik, as it's ending, nearly coming to an end, and also during this auspicious time of Bhishma Panchaka, so very auspicious. And thank you for your thoughtfulness, for thinking about all the devotees and taking your time out and doing this with us. So thank you once again. Let's all unmute and please say 3 loud Haribols to Prabhu.
Haribol to all the devotees.
Haribol, Haribol,
Thank you so
Haribol.
much, Prabhu. Haribo.
The Devotees Association. So Kapil Bhagavan says, Mahatam Bahumananam Denanam Anukampaya Maitracha Evatma Tulyeshu Yemena Niyemena Cha. So one has to make friendship with the like-minded. Maitriyacha Evatma Tulyeshu, Atma Tulyeshu, equivalent to his devotees. That is, we have got all Akshpriji Sangha devotees. All are exalted devotees, so that's why everything comes very beautifully. Okay, yamena niyamena cha, with the according to the scriptural injunctions. Thank you so much, everyone. If you're all happy, so vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam
Pranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Himlata Mataji. It was so nice to